Carly Goshen will send it over, and the Mustangs will keep it alive. Now the attack from the far side, and it's down for the kill. Olivia Dobbins. Chloe Hertz. Hertz pushes it in back there to Schmidt. Shot from the point. It's in! Off the stick of Taylor Leonards, and it's 3-0. Taylor Leonards with the third goal for the Bismarck Blizzard on the shot from the point on the far side. And the Blizzard are running on all cylinders here in period number 41-37, 4:25 to go here as the Kindred Vikings will work it down low. Another slam dunk and one. How about that? A slam dunk by Gavin Keller, and he got fouled on the two-handed throwdown. Kennedy Kuntz will pop that one up left center field. It's going back, and we have our first grand slam of the All-Star Series in 3 years. Hansen under center, drops back, looks near side. I believe that's Formo, and he's got it. Fargo South touchdown. Kaylee Jackson, three-pointer up, and no, that one won't go in. Tana Lick pulls down the deep offensive board. She'll put up a three. That one's in, and we're tied. Grothman won't be able to control it, and the ball will escape over to the far sideline. Fargo Davies have come up that far sideline, and a nice through ball there, and this could be an opportunity. Centering pass, one-on-one. Was she outside? She was not. It's 1-0 Fargo Davies. Bad pitch here, and the bases are loaded. Line drive right into center field, and that will score one run. And rounding thirds, Rorich, and he'll score. It's a two-run RBI double for Casey Reber. Shot from the point, Bree Adams, lowering hard, and it's in! Off the stick to Sydney Kamstrup, and the Cougars are on the board! Press box here, the best we're able to. That one's going high left field, and running for it is Schwab, and she makes a diving catch! Wow, what a play by Cameron Schwab, the junior in left field, to end the inning.
Fantastic catch.
Diamond Academy and Magnitude Sports Media Network are providing a huge opportunity for high school athletes. Player profile videos shine the spotlight on a skill set required for a position in a particular sport. Whether you play softball, track and field, or any other sport, if you're a sophomore or junior, it's time to schedule your video. Most tapings take less than an hour and can save you thousands when a recruiter puts your name in the starting lineup for a college scholarship. For more information, click on Player Profiles at msportsnet.com or call us at 701-373-1843.
Download Game Time today.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level of my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
North Dakota Softball All-Stars podcast with Tim Howe keeps you up to date year-round on the sport of softball in the state of North Dakota. coach and player interviews. Who's moving on to play college softball and that? Well, guess what? That simply scratches the surface of this Grand Slam softball podcast. A new episode every week during the softball season and every month during the off season. Listen anytime on demand on the ND Sports Channel, a Magnitude Sports Media Network station.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life. This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar anytime soon. Still, they are rehearsing for something important. While they learn their lines, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, that everyone has a part to play. Skills that will make them stars long after the curtain falls. The National Federation of State High School Associations reminds you that when kids take part in high school activities, they get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life. Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
Thank you to Addie. Now when we are starting lineups. First, the visitors on the scoreboard, the Moorhead Spuds.
All right, welcome back.
Starting in the goal.
And here's your starting lineups.
Caden Triggs. Starting on defense, senior number 2, Awes Ahmed. Starting on defense, senior number 3, Ali Manfi. Starting on defense, junior number 4, Liam Weiler. Starting at midfield, junior number 5, Santi Ramas. Starting at midfield defense, sophomore number 8, Max Hodney. Starting at forward, junior number 10, Yusuf Al-Shamani. Starting at forward midfield, junior number 11, Saif Alawi. Starting on defense, sophomore number 12, Abaniza Padai. Starting at midfield, junior number 14, Mason Allen. And starting at midfield, junior number 23, William Vargas. The Spuds are coached by Ben Patry, Adam Haskins, Scott Flores, and Mark Wilson.
Those are starters for the Moorhead Spuds.
And now for the home team on the scoreboard, your Fargo
Bruins.
South Bruins. Starting in the goal, sophomore 00, Krishna Puwar. Starting on defense, junior number 2, Vishal Mongar. Starting on defense, senior number 3, Pacific Sibomana. Starting on defense, junior number 6, Taylor Labungo. Starting at forward, senior number 7, Shasit Tamang. Starting at forward, senior number 12, Naresh Mangar. Starting at forward, junior number 13, Riley Martin. Starting at midfield, junior number 14, Sujan Gailey. Starting at forward, junior number 17, Ethan Javelin. Starting on defense, freshman number 23, Jagar Ralstad. And starting at midfield, senior number 25, Austin Scott. The Bruins are coached by Amar Vatras, Danny Doherty, Dave Weiler, Salco Music, and Andrea Lyons.
And those are your starters for the Fargo South Bruins. We'll take one more time out. When we come back, we'll have the opening kick for you here on
The Fargo Public Schools would like to acknowledge Sam.
Diamond Academy and Magnitude Sports Media Network are providing a huge opportunity for high school athletes. Player profile videos shine the spotlight on a skill set required for a position in a particular sport. Whether you play softball, track and field, or any other sport, if you're a sophomore or junior, it's time to schedule your video. Most tapings take less than an hour and can save you thousands when a recruiter puts your name in the starting lineup for a college scholarship. For more information, click on Player Profiles at msportsnet.com or call us at 701-373-1843.
Download Game Time today.
All right, welcome back here as we get ready to start the first half of play between the Fargo South Bruins and the visiting Moorhead Spuds. I want to say thank you to a couple of the parents for the Moorhead name pronunciations, as well as the PA announcer here in the box. Between the two of them, I think we got them all down. So that is, it's not going to be as nerve-wracking as I originally thought it was going to be. So we did a few Fargo South games last year, and we're familiar with the majority of those names. With the Moorhead roster, it came a little bit as a surprise to us to have a couple of teams with a lot of harder names to say. But thanks to the PA announcer and one of the Moorhead parents, I think we got it all down. So we are ready to rock and roll here in the first half of play. We'll get that pregame logo off of our screen there. And once again, Fargo South in their yellow jerseys with white numbers, and then the Moorhead Spuds in the white jerseys with orange numbers. Spuds moving from left to right as you see it on your screen, and the Fargo South Bruins moving from right to left as the ball will come back to just about midfield here. And they'll work the ball to the near side onto the foot there of Bashal Monger, a junior defenseman for the Fargo South Bruins, and that'll get tapped out of bounds for a Bruin throw-in. Once again, msportsnet.com. You can go there and check out all of our upcoming games. You can even watch this game live right there on our website, or you can, via the YouTube app, get it on your home TV. It doesn't matter if it's a 20-inch or a 70-inch. You can watch it. It looks good on 70-inch TVs, too. I've watched it on my home TV. And, of course, all these games will be available for a 24/7 replay within about 20 minutes or so, 20 to 30 minutes after the conclusion of the live broadcast. So keep that in mind for anybody who can't catch this game live. Don't tell them the final score. Send them to our website, have them watch the game, and find out what happens for themselves. Moorhead, the Spuds, they'll have the ball here, and they'll be quickly taken away by the Bruins. And they'll drop pass it back to about midfield. Once again, 40-minute halves in soccer with 10-minute halftime squeezed in between the two of them. There's one cool thing about soccer compared to all the other sports. You can almost guarantee the time of day that the game is going to come to an end within about a 2-minute window. All the other games are up in the air. So free kick here for the Spuds. Just shy of midfield, they'll boot it up, and over the last defender, it'll be a foot race one-on-one, and it could be an opportunity here, and no call over on the far side there as a couple players fall down, taking a peek through the binoculars. Slow to get up, I think it was number 11, and it was for Moorhead there. That was Saif Alawi, who is down right now, and that will stop the clock. Trying to catch the jersey number of the player who made contact with him. I can't quite see it. It's somewhere in the 20s there. It's either Jagger Ralstad or Austin Scott, one of the two. And it was indeed Ralstad who collided there. So it'll be a goal kick. In goal is Krishan Puar, a sophomore for the Fargo South Bruins. Over on the flip
for the
side,
Spuds, number 7, Jabril Guido. And in for the Bruins, number 8, Pradeep Rai.
and then over on the flip side for the Moorhead Spuds, it's Caden Triggs, a senior goalkeeper for the Spuds. So Triggs for the Spuds and Puar for the Bruins in goal, and Puar will pick that one up. And he will bounce it a couple times and boot it away up over to the far sideline here. And we forgot to start the clock. We'll do that. We'll make an adjustment on our clock there here in a moment. 37:23 and counting is the official time, and we'll update that. So we're about 20 seconds off. Keep that in mind. We'll update it as soon as the opportunity presents itself, as the Spuds will collect the ball back here. About the 40. Tried to advance it up. It was headed back there by a Fargo South forward. And now the Bruins will knock the ball back, and it'll go into the hands of Triggs, actually the foot of Triggs, and he will boot it all the way back upfield. And chasing after it there is Ralstad, freshman defender for the Bruins, and he will let it go back onto the foot of Puar. So Puar will move it up over to the far side here. Nice, beautiful Saturday afternoon here in South Fargo at Grant Brandt Kwame Field. Excuse me, I got the B and the G mixed up there. I apologize. Did the first ever game on this field here on the ND Sports Channel. That was a football game between the Bruins and the Grand Forks Central Knights. A game that the Bruins won. I can't remember the final score, but they did not allow a lot of points for the Knights in that game. We'll just leave it at that. Ball will come out, squirt out of bounds here for, actually I think it's going to be a free kick for the Spuds and not a throw-in. So Triggs will line it up about 33 yards away from his own net. Remember, playing on a football field, you add 10 yards to wherever it's at, according to the numbers that you see on the field there. He'll boot that one all the way down into the hands, or I should say the foot, I guess, as Puar decided not to pick it up. And now he's going to try and move it near side. That's Monger with the ball, trying to get around the defender. The man on Monger was William Vargas, the senior defenseman. I think it was Vargas. I think there was a 2 in front of that 3 anyway. Yes, it was Vargas, and that ball will go out of be set up for a free kick. So back and forth, and it's stolen by Vargas, but then immediately taken away by Alvin Johnson, a senior midfielder here for the Fargo South Bruins. 35-13 and counting to go here in the first half of play. I forgot to look at the record, but I believe the Bruins are still looking for their first win of the year. I think they were 0-1. I think they played one game since I looked at that. Got home late from a football game last night and didn't have a chance to put together the stats. Say that again? Oh, you did beat North, so they're 1-1-0 then, right? 1-1-0, okay. So 1-1-0 for the Fargo South Bruins. Fargo South just by about a game or so missing the state tournament last year. They were right on the edge of that state tournament bracket, but a couple teams via tiebreakers and head-to-head competition were able to keep the Bruins out of the state tournament last year. So they'll see if they can do a little bit better this year and get back to that state tournament, which will be in early to mid-October. Don't necessarily have a preference over boys or girls soccer, but I do enjoy doing boys games a little bit more, mainly because it's not quite as chilly in the fall soccer season as it is compared to the spring soccer season when the girls play. That's the only difference between the two that I'd make a comment on. All right, we got the adjustment down. Goal kick here for Puar. He'll knock it out near side there to Monger. Monger will feed it back in, then back out to the near sideline onto the foot of Monger a couple touches later and headed back into the zone and then headed back out of the zone there by a Spud and a Bruin, coincidentally. Keep looking to the right side for the scoreboard there. And we do have that clock corrected now. So 33:01 is what you see on your screen. And that's what remains here in the first half of play. This could be an opportunity here. We'll see what happens. Oh, he lost it, and the defenders for the Spuds were able to knock it out. They'll put it onto the foot there of William Vargas. Vargas will try and advance it up. I believe that is Saif Alawi, if I'm saying that correctly. I think I came pretty close anyway. And now the Spuds will have it over on the far sideline. And then tracking it down is Ralstad, the freshman defender for the Bruins, as that one will be popped out of bounds for a Spuds throwing over on the far sideline. 32-27 and counting to go here. No score between the Bruins and the Spuds. Not a whole lot of action as far as shots on net up at this point. The Spuds do have one, and that's about the only thing that's happened right now. A lot of back and forth ball control here between the two squads. Ball likes to stay between the two 30-yard lines for the most part. Every time it goes beyond that, one of the defenders will knock it back into the middle of the field. Ralstad will send it over far side. Can't quite see the jersey numbers on that far side of the field. We'll do the best we can to identify those players when the opportunity presents themselves. They'll come over near side here. Trying to chase it down was Chassis Tamang. And Tamang will have that popped off his foot by Ralstad onto the foot of Monger, and Monger will get it right back here a couple touches later. And fast forward a couple more touches, and Monger has it again. Looking for that centering pass, and so far so good. Spuds doing a good job at defending here as the Bruins attempt to go on the attack. Bruins will keep it in the zone, move it near side, and that one will float out of bounds here, and I believe that will be a Bruin throw-in. Some nice passing there, and the Spuds were able to intercept it. And now they'll get it upfield, and he was just barely on sides. Here's an opportunity for Moorhead, and he will not be able to get it on goal as Ralstad will run up on him. Couldn't quite see who that was. Let's take a peek through the binoculars here. That was Jibril Guido, a junior forward for the Moorhead Spuds. As Puar will boot it away, and that'll be headed right back in the direction, I believe, on the far side there. That's Guido. We have a whistle, and I believe it might have been a handball, but I didn't quite see the signal from the official. Moorhead will get the free kick as a result. That was Ahmed booting it back to the center of the field there to the Spud defensemen. Battle for the ball right around midfield here. Neither team with clear possession of the ball for more than a handful of seconds. And that'll change right now as Tamang will pick it up, work the ball down the near sideline, centering pass, and pops it back out on the foot of Austin Scott. Scott will center it over far side. Now Ralstad will boot it up. Far side, and it's initially touched by a Spud, but the Bruins get it right back. And that one will be popped up, and that will be an opportunity there for Triggs to pick it up, and he will. Triggs will hold on to the ball momentarily here. 28:57 and counting to go first half. A high kick that just barely goes beyond midfield. And that one will bounce, and Ralstad will make the first touch on the ball. And the Bruins will maintain possession as they try to bring it up the near sideline here. Put it up onto the foot there of Bashal Monger, and Monger we'll see that one get chipped away. It'll eventually end up on the foot of Alvin Johnson, and Johnson will scoot it over far side. Picking it up there. Can't quite see who that is. Taking a peek through the binoculars. He's swarmed by a few Spuds. And that ball will come loose back towards midfield. Ralstad will battle for it. And the Spuds will maintain possession. Nice passing there over to the far side. And can he keep it in? I don't think he did. That'll be a Bruin throw-in over on the far side. 28 minutes, just over 28 minutes remaining here. First half of play. Loose ball, running for it here are the Bruins, and picking it up for the Spuds was Vargas. And Vargas, they tried to feed it back to Vargas, but it didn't quite roll the way they wanted it to on that through ball, and ends up going into the hands of Krishna Puar, sophomore goalie for the Bruins. And Puar will boot that one just shy of midfield, where the Spuds will make touch up on it. Loose ball over on the far side. We picked up there by Edmund Irakunda. And then out of bounds for a throw-in. Spuds controlling it. Bring it back over midfield here to try and set something up. They'll work the ball over the near sideline. That one was almost nearly intercepted, but thanks to Ahmed for the Spuds, they were able, for the moment, to keep control of that ball. But now the Bruins get it right back. And here's a shot on goal, and that one will be a grounder right into the hands of Caden Trigg. So, one shot per team now, but still no score. 26-29 and counting to go in the first half of play. As the Spuds will work it over to the far side and try and bring it up. One quality shot on goal for each team in this contest so far. And was he onside? If he was just barely onside. Working the ball on the near sideline there was Tamang, and now Tamang will see that ball go onto the foot. I believe that's Alvin Johnson down in the near corner here, and it is. Johnson trying to get around a couple defenders, puts it onto the foot of Monger. Monger will, ooh, that one was unintentional, right into the face of Vargas off the foot there of Moorhead's Santi Ramas, if I'm saying that correctly. And that should be a corner kick here for the Bruins, and they're going to make them take the corner kick from the far side corner, I believe. No, it will be a near side corner kick. So the kick will come in and immediately boot it up high, and I think the wind maybe caught a little bit of that one. That one got into the jet stream and took it all the way up midfield. Now here's an opportunity for Moorhead. Moving up on the opportunity was Yusuf Al-Shamani, but that was booted away by the Fargo South defenseman. Out of bounds for a Spuds toss. Hassan will make the throw in. At least he was going to, and now he'll hand it off to his teammate. And making the throw-in toss will be Saif Aloui. So Aloui will throw it in. Nice toss there right into the 6-yard line area, the goal box. And I believe that's going to be a corner kick, because I think that went off the hands of Puar.
And
so
in
will
for the
indeed be a
Bruins,
corner
number 12,
kick
Najesh Mangar, and number 19, Charlie Larson.
for the Moorhead Spuds over on the far corner. And it appears that it will be Saif Alawi taking that corner kick. He'll put it in low, and it'll be booted right back out of bounds for a Spuds throw-in. As it bounces off the, I believe that's the Fargo South bench. Ralstad will boot it up, and it'll go out of bounds, and that'll be another Spuds throw-in. Well, thank you for joining us here today, whether you're a Spuds fan or a Bruins fan. Certainly appreciate you tuning in to watch the game. We have plenty of soccer games on the schedule this fall sports season. We'll see primarily with the West Fargo Packers and the Fargo Davies Eagles. Those two teams not playing today, or if they are, I missed it on the schedule. So we'll have this game here, and we'll occasionally have a few games not featuring those two teams. I know we'll see Moorhead a couple more times this season as well. I believe they play Bismarck Century here coming up pretty soon. We'll have that game for you on our station, and then we'll also have their game against the West Fargo Cheyenne Mustangs. I believe both of those games that I'm referencing are home games for the Moorhead Spuds. And we'll have those matchups for you pending some changes on the Minnesota Sports Station. Since it's a home game for Moorhead, it'll be on the Minnesota Sports Station. So you can subscribe to that one on YouTube by searching Minnesota Sports Station. And then you can get the mobile alerts when we go live with those games, just in case you forget. You can do the same thing with the ND Sports Channel. Just under 22 minutes to go here in the first half of play. Free kick, it went right onto the foot of the Spud defender, and now that one's going to be popped up, and that'll veer to the right in front of the goal, and it's punched away there by Caden Triggs. Nice defensive play there by the goalie for the Spuds. He's a senior this year. So that means next year they'll have somebody new in net. I knew that. I know that Hussein Al-Shamani plays goalie for the Moorhead Spuds. I'm not sure how frequently he plays, but I know he's listed as one of the goaltenders for the Spuds. 21-17 and counting to go here in the first half of play. Still no score. Each team has a shot on net. Actually, Fargo South now has 2. Forgot to add that most recent one. Ball's worked over on the far side, and it'll go back out of bounds, and it'll remain a Bruin throw-in. Ralstad will make the toss here for Fargo South. Alvin Johnson will work it inside, and they'll bounce it back out and try and set something up here. Some nice passing by the Bruins. Centering back in is Austin Scott over to the far side. Can't quite see who that is. And that will be another shot on goal that's picked up by Triggs. So 3 shots on the net now for the Fargo South Bruins. Bruins will get the ball. It's Monger on the near side. Now Alvin Johnson in the middle right there, trapped between 3 Moorhead defenders, and they're going to say that there was a push that occurred, and that'll be a free kick for Fargo South. This free kick will come about 34 yards away from the goal, straight on, and that's Bichelle Monger, the junior defenseman, who will line up to take the free kick. As the Spuds will line up here with their wall just in front of the 18 by about 6-7 yards. And the shot will go right on goal, and it'll go to the right side of the net. 19-22 goal kick here coming up for the Moorhead Spuds, and they'll work it out to the far side.
In for the Spuds, number 9, Dalgesh Al Haidar, and number 15, Hassan Hassan.
So following the throw-in, it'll go right back out after a couple of touches here, and the Bruins, Ralstad will, I believe it would be Ralstad, who will throw it in, and it will. Throw it in from right around that 40-yard line, which is about 50 yards away from the goal. Tried to throw it in down the near sideline there, and it'll go right back out of bounds. Nairesh Mongar for the Bruins was on the far side there. And it'll go back into Mongar on the far side, but he's caught in the corner there with a couple Spud defenders on him. Bruins trying to get the ball in, and Moorhead doing the best they can to keep that ball out. They're not making it easy for the Bruins to get any shots on the net. They do have 4 of them, though, compared to 2 for the Spuds. 17-41. Nice centering pass there, and that'll be booted up. And can the Spuds get it out, or will the Bruins get another opportunity? And now we have a whistle, and it'll be a free kick for Moorhead. They'll let that one roll all the way back to Puar. Puar will put it back out to the far side there, and they'll work the ball back in, back out to the far sideline. Now it's onto the foot of Fargo South. Gale. We'll just say Gale. This is the last name. Not sure about the first name there. I looked at it earlier, and I forgot to write it down, what I was told. So Sue John, I believe, is, if I remember correctly. Sue John Gale. There you go. Pretty sure that's correct. There's an opportunity. It's a one-on-one race, including the goalie, and he'll boot that one definitely out of any danger, at least for the moment, as it goes all the way back down to Puar. That was a nice kick there by Caden Triggs. I have not looked at the Moorhead football roster, but if they're in need of a field goal kicker, Triggs might be a nominee based upon that kick right there from goal. Well, a handful of goalies that play kicker in football, so it wouldn't be a shock if that were the case. So we'll boot it up the far sideline here, and that'll go out of bounds. I believe it's a Spuds throw in here. Check the current temperature. It's about 77 degrees outside, a little bit of a breeze. We'll stay in the upper 70s. We might reach 80 by the time this game comes to a conclusion, but we'll definitely be in the upper 70s, 77, 78. A little bit of wind, sunshine, a few clouds up there, but for the most part, it's a nice Saturday afternoon here at Fargo South High School. Bruins will work the ball on the far sideline here and try and move it up. I believe that's Monger over on the far side, and he's saying he didn't touch it, and the official on the far sideline will agree with him, and it'll be a Fargo South throw-in from right in front of the Moorhead Spud bench. 14:53 and counting, no score here. About 6 or so shots on net between the two teams combined. Once again, those numbers are unofficial. Nice ball movement here, but a lot of by both teams. But when one team has the ball, the other team seems to get in the way and just make things a little bit hectic here. As I've mentioned a little bit earlier, it seems like the ball stays between the two 30-yard lines frequently, and every time it gets across there, nobody can seem to make a move on it. I have a gut feeling that this game, the way it's playing out so far, could come down to a 1-0 final. The question is, who's going to score that one goal? Will it be the Spuds or will it be the Bruins? Right now the Bruins have the ball. It's Monger on the near sideline looking for that centering pass, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Once it gets across that 30, the ball doesn't seem to go forward anymore. It goes sideways or back the other direction. So if one of these two teams can get a nice through ball on a pass and get a breakaway opportunity here, that could be the deciding factor in this one. We're still at 0-0, 13 minutes remaining here in the first half of play. Nice centering pass there, or at least that was the idea. It would curve to the opposite direction of what he intended to put it, and it'll result in a goal kick there for Krishana Puwa, or check that, Caden Triggs. Wrong roster. That was, let's see here, that was dangerously close to a handball. Remember, a handball is anything from the fingertips all the way up to the shoulder. They did not call that. Ball touches any part of that arm there, it could be considered a handball if the official decides that's what he wants to do. I believe that was Austin Scott. Let me check the roster. No, Charlie Larson, who booted it into the middle there, and now Larson will nearly pick it up again, but the Spuds were able to advance it out of there. So nice ball movement here as the Spuds try and create an opportunity. We're still scoreless here with 12.5 to go in the first half. Bruins will get it out of there, and the Spuds will pick it up once again. It'll be a Bruin throw-in, and Charlie Larson, the freshman forward, will get it in onto the foot of Bashal Monger, the junior defenseman. Monger battling there with a couple of Spuds, and it's popped out of bounds off the foot there of Awas Ahmed, senior defenseman for the Spuds. And there'll be another throw-in here. This time it'll be Monger who will take the throw-in. He'll get it onto the foot of Alvin Johnson. Johnson will pop it back out to, that is Charlie Larson. And the Bruins have the ball between the 30s once again. That was Austin Scott who tried to center it but missed it. Bruins maintain possession of the ball. They'll put it back onto the foot of Ralstad, the freshman defender for Fargo South. A couple of touches later, Moorhead will pick up the possession, and now a collision there. No whistle, no stoppage in play. But down on the ground for Moorhead is Saif Alawi. So that'll stop the clock with 11:16 to go. And the good news is it looks like he got up. He's going to be sent off. Moorhead will have the option to play short or send in a sub. Checking in for the Spuds is Yusuf Al-Shamani, excuse me. So back to action now.
In for the Spuds, number 10, Yusuf Al-Shamani, and number 16, Aiden Copeland. And
coming down into the near corner, trying to center it there, but a nice defensive play to get in the way there and prevent that centering pass by Ralstad. And we got a corner kick coming up here for the Moorhead Spuds from the near corner. There is a post on the press box here that we've tried and we just can't get it out of the way there. So you just have to trust me that there's a corner kick on that near side. That one will go all the way over to across the field and back out of bounds. I believe that'll be a goal kick for Fargo South. I think the Spuds touched it last. So that brings us to just a little bit over 10 minutes to go, 10:20 and counting to be exact. And Krishna Puar will boot it away. Right up the middle, headed up, and Elvin Johnson will make the second touch on it. Ball bounced around over to the far sideline. Neither team with clear possession at the moment. Now Fargo South appears to have taken possession of that ball. Just under 10 minutes now, 9:51 and counting as Puar will knock it away once again. This time a little bit over the head of his teammate, which allows the Spuds to pick it back up. And the through ball was intercepted there by the Bruins. Back heel kick, but nobody there. Monger had to run up quick, and he got there. Nice job there by Bashal Monger. Now Alvin Johnson will pick up the loose ball up along the near side. Johnson trying to get around a couple defenders. So far, so good. He's looking pretty impressive here. Can he get a shot on goal? He tried the centering pass, and his teammate left, which allowed the Spud defender to get it out. And now there's going to be I didn't see what happened. It's apparently going to be a free kick just outside of the 18 here for Fargo South. I was watching that ball as it went back up the field there, and as soon as my eyes followed the ball, the whistle blew. So this will come from 25 yards out. He's trying to curve that into the far post, and working right in front there was the defenseman, Ralstad. Not often you see a defenseman that far up. But he was that time, and now the ball will go out of bounds, and I believe that will be a throw-in for the Spuds, and it will be. Taking the toss there for the Spuds is Ebenezer Pade. Pade, I believe is how you say it. And now Ralstad has it again.
William Vargas.
And nice shot. That was the best shot of the game there from Ralstad. From either team so far. One of the better opportunities for either team up to this point. Comes with 8:15 and counting to go in the first half. But also, not to discredit the goalie, Caden Triggs, who that was not necessarily an easy save for Triggs to make. He made a great play in defense on the goal there as well. So the Bruins will get the throw in. They'll put it on the foot of Alvin Johnson, who'll drop it back to his defenseman. And they'll try and advance the ball back up. Monger will try and keep it in, get around a couple defenders. Now it's 2-on-2, make it 3-on-3. Monger with a stutter step, still around there. He'll try and curve it in, and there's the opportunity, and Triggs will save it. Triggs had to pound that one to the ball, to the ground, almost like he was dribbling a basketball in order to get a clear grip on the ball. So Fargo South here in the last couple of minutes with a couple of quality opportunities here. And we'll see if that trend continues. We'll see what Moorhead can do in response to that. There's Ralstad. He's all over the field. You'd think that he's a midfielder, but he's not. He's a defenseman. Usually it's the midfielders that you see running all over the field, but in this case it's Ralstad, and well, he's made some quality opportunities on that. He was onside, and that is going to be a one-on-one race, and now they're saying he's offsides. I'm not sure if I agree with that. He was in front of the Moorhead defender, Awis Ahmed. He was in front by at least a half a step, and the far side official put his flag up saying that he was offsides. I humbly disagree with that call, but we'll go with it. So the Spuds will get the ball off the free kick there. And they'll feed it up the near sideline here. That's going on to the foot of Aiden Copeland, senior midfielder. And it'll go out of bounds. Now Copeland will pick it up and make the toss here for the Spuds as well.
In for the Spuds, number 8, Max Hodney.
5:50 to go in the first half. Now the Spuds will pick it up right around midfield, and that was indeed intercepted, and now the Bruins have a possible opportunity here. They'll work it over to the far side. I believe that's Elvin Johnson has it now. Over on the far side is Pacific Sibomana. Now Spuds will try and bring it back, and collision there. We'll boot the ball back. Keeping it in there was Charlie Larson. Also into the lineup here is Drew Shamba, a freshman forward for Fargo South. A little over 4.5 to go here in the first half. Still no score. Moorhead with at least one great opportunity. And this could be number 2 there, but he cannot get around the defender, and no call is made there. Contact was not intentional. And now the Bruins, as soon as they have an opportunity, the Spuds take it away from them. Monger with the ball right now. Feeds it to Johnson near sideline. Johnson with a stutter step, gives it right back to Monger, and Monger tried the through ball back to Johnson, but it was taken back, and now getting kicked in the ankle there, probably unintentionally, was Awis Ahmed. He immediately grabbed his right ankle and fell down. He gets right back up, and he's going to walk that one off. So that's good news. Glad that he is okay. It will result in a free kick here for the Spuds, and they will advance that one upfield. And A whistle sounded. I did not see a flag go up. I'll stop the clock with 4:10.
Yellow card assessed to number 2, Michelle Mongar. In for the Bruins, number 13, Riley Martin.
All right, so now we're back to action. So the yellow card from Monger comes with 4:10 to go in the first half. Once again, both of these teams playing some quality defense there. Rarely does either one of these teams get a quality scoring opportunity. It's a good matchup here between the Spuds and the Bruins. Up to this point, pretty much all the first half has been back and forth. Maybe a slight advantage to the Bruins. Elvin Johnson with the ball right now, looking for a possible pass, and he'll get it onto the foot there of, that was Sibomana, and nice slide tackle inside the box. Dangerous, though, to do that inside there, because any wrong move, and that'll be a penalty kick, and that was a nice defensive play to boot it out of bounds and force the Bruins to toss it in. Pacific Sibomana will make the toss here for Fargo South. And that one will be immediately touched up and taken out by the Spuds, and they'll try and advance it upfield this time with 2:43 and counting to go. And right at midfield, the Bruins get it back. They'll drop it back onto the foot there, Rolstad. Rolstad will advance it up, and the Spuds will get it right back. And like a foosball table there, each team touching it up here like in a matter of seconds. Sibomana with the ball right now. Sibomana tried to advance it up to Elvin Johnson, and now Elvin Johnson will get another opportunity. Trying to set up for a shot about 25 yards out from the goal at the moment. Now he makes his way into the 18, and oh man, that was just over the head. That was another great shot there by Sibomana. Over a diving Caden Triggs, and the wind may have played a factor in the direction of that ball as it's blowing against the shot right now for Fargo South. Go up to the far sideline there, and the Spuds will try and create an opportunity for them here. Right at the top of the 18, turn around, and can they get the shot on goal? They can, but it'll be scooped up by Puar. So Spuds will try and keep it in. That'll ricochet out of bounds, I believe, for a Bruin throwing in. That is indeed the case.
1 minute remaining in the half.
Sibomana will toss it in and get it right back. Sibomana will try and work it up the near sideline. That'll be taken away there by the Spuds, and they will go off the foot of Charlie Larson for the Spud throw-in. So now the Spuds have it at midfield, trying to create an opening here to advance the ball up. And slowly but surely they're trying to do that, and now the Bruins intercept it. On the near side, that's Austin Scott, and Scott will see that ball bounce out of bounds, and Sibomana will chase it down for the throw-in. Pacific Sibomana, a senior defenseman for Fargo South. And that will bring us to halftime. So no score here after one half between the Bruins and the Spuds. Shots on net unofficially, 7 for the Bruins and 3 for the Spuds. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll go over the first half stats, even though there's not a lot to go over at the moment, and then we'll take a another timeout and get you set for the second half right here on the ND Sports Channel. Be right back.
Diamond Academy and Magnitude Sports Media Network are providing a huge opportunity for high school athletes. Player profile videos shine the spotlight on a skill set required for a position in a particular sport. Whether you play softball, track and field, or any other sport, if you're a sophomore or junior, it's time to schedule your video. Most tapings take less than an hour and can save you thousands when a recruiter puts your name in the starting lineup for a college scholarship. For more information, click on Player Profiles at msportsnet.com or call us at 701-373-1843.
Download Game Time today.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level in my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
North Dakota Softball All-Stars podcast with Tim Howe keeps you up to date year-round on the sport of softball in the state of North Dakota. Coach and player interviews, who's moving on to play college softball, and that, well, guess what? That simply scratches the surface of this Grand Slam softball podcast. A new episode every week during the softball season and every month during the off-season. Listen anytime on demand on the ND Sports Channel, a Magnitude Sports Media Network station.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life. This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar anytime soon. Still, they are rehearsing for something important. While they learn their lines, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, that everyone has a part to play. Skills that will make them stars long after the curtain falls. The National Federation of State High School Associations reminds you that when kids take part in high school activities, they get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life. Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
All right, welcome back. Halftime here at Fargo South High School at Brant Kwame Field on ND Sports Channel. About 4 minutes away from the start of the second half of play. No score between the Bruins and the Spuds. The Bruins have had a few more shots on net and a few more quality opportunities than the Spuds have in this game so far. But the Spuds looking really good out there as well, and that could change at any time. Really, the only action we had at the with 4:10 remaining in the first, we had a yellow card to Bashal Monger, and outside of that, some nice play by Jagger Ralstad, a freshman defender for the Fargo South Bruins. He was all over the field. He's a defender, and he's getting shots from inside the 6-yard line and or inside the goal box, and so that's the update here in the first half. Well, shots on net unofficially 7-3 in favor of Fargo South. So. That will bring us, like I said, we're about 3.5 minutes away from the start of the second half. We'll take one more timeout and get you set for that second half next here on the ND Sports Channel.
Diamond Academy and Magnitude Sports Media Network are providing a huge opportunity for high school athletes. Player profile videos shine the spotlight on a skill set required for a position in a particular sport. Whether you play softball, track and field, or any other sport, if you're a sophomore or junior, it's time to schedule your video. Most tapings take less than an hour and can save you thousands when a recruiter puts your name in the starting lineup for a college scholarship. For more information, click on Player Profiles at msportsnet.com or call us at 701-373-1843.
Download Game Time today.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level in my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
North Dakota Softball All-Stars podcast with Tim Howe keeps you up to date year-round on the sport of softball in the state of North Dakota. Coach and player interviews, who's moving on to play college softball, and that, well, guess what? That simply scratches the surface of this Grand Slam softball podcast. A new episode every week during the softball season and every month during the off-season. Listen anytime on demand on the ND Sports Channel, a Magnitude Sports Media Network station.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
All right, welcome back. Scoreless as we get ready to start the second half here between the Moorhead Spuds, if you're just joining us, and the Fargo South Bruins. The Moorhead Spuds are in their white jerseys with orange numbers, and then the Fargo South Bruins are in their yellowish gold jerseys with white numbers as well. No score. The Bruins had about 2 or 3 quality opportunities on net out of their 7 shots total, and the Moorhead Spuds on their 3 shots, 2 of those shots were quality attempts. But it's been a defensive battle here for both teams, as both offensives, once they get within about 30 yards of the goal, cannot seem to move that ball forward, and that's been the problem for both of these teams here in the first half. I would suspect we might have a whistle here if that garbage can rolls into the field here. It's maybe somebody can grab that and take it away there. It came very close to moving into the field of play. I would suspect that the official might want to have that moved, but that's their call, not mine, I guess. So once again, that centering pass there, headed out by Fargo South's Jagger Wallstad. We talked about him at halftime and how he's been all over the field here for the Bruins. 38:50, that clock is correct. It's within about half a second. Once again, in goal for the Spuds is Caden Trigg, a senior, and in goal for the Bruins is Krishana Puar, a sophomore goalkeeper for Fargo South. 38-35, no score here. Second half of play between the Bruins and the Spuds. If this game does not have a goal by the time we hit 0-0, it will end in a 0-0 tie. The only time we go to extra time and or shootouts would be in the state tournament. Regular season, they just end in ties. And we saw a few of those last year. Coming up on our soccer schedule, early September as well as late September, we'll have the 2 state championship rematches between the West Fargo Packers and the Fargo Davies Eagles. Those 2 teams in the regular season, they tied in both of their meetings during the regular season. In West Fargo, the game would remain scoreless at 0-0 until just about the 2-minute mark of the second half, when West Fargo would get a lucky bounce that would go over the Davies Eagles goalie head and into the goal for a 1-0 win and a state title. It was the Packer fans who were up in the booth that day were certainly pumped up about that one. I can only imagine how the Davies Eagles fans felt as the Eagles tried their hardest to get some quality opportunities in those final 2 minutes to tie the thing up, but they just couldn't get one into the net, and a crushing loss for the Fargo Davies Eagles. So we saw the Eagles a couple days ago here on the ND Sports Channel, and they actually looked pretty good. And we also saw the Packers a couple days ago on the ND Sports Channel, and they looked good as well until Grand Forks Central by surprise came back and scored 3 goals in the matter of about 6 to 7 minutes to knock off the Packers 3-1 on their first game on their new turf field at home up in West Fargo High School. So once again, early September and late September, those are 2 matchups you might want to circle on the calendar. There's a nice steal there by Fargo South, and they'll move the ball up far side, but the Spuds are going to get there first, and that one will go out of bounds, and that should be a goal kick here for Caden Triggs and the Moorhead Spuds. 36.5 minutes to go here in the second half. Still no score. Looking for the first goal of the game here. We'll see which team can get it. Once again, Mike Mason with you here on the play-by-play. Janice working the cameras, doing an outstanding job today. So we worked out a lot of those kinks we had in the first couple games. And things are going to run a little bit more smoothly for the remainder of the fall, winter, and spring sports season, because there's no break between those like there is between spring and fall. And if there is a break, it's only a matter of about a week or so, and then you're right back at it. So Spuds will center the ball, middle of the field there, and it'll be immediately taken away by the Bruins. Once again, this is looking very similar to the first half there as the ball sticks between the two 30-yard lines on the football field, and once it gets past that 30, the ball starts to either go sideways or in reverse. It does not go forward. Here's another opportunity. You break loose from that tackle there, and he'll have to chase down the ball, and that will allow the Moorhead Spud defenders to get back as Sibomana will pick up the ball, work it inside there for, I believe that's Austin Scott, and it is. And Scott will drop it back to Ralstad. Ralstad with the pink shoes. I like it. I like that a lot, Ralstad. Way to go. I want to bounce out of bounds here, and that will be a Spud throw-in. 34-37 and counting to go here in the second half. Shots on goal, 7 of 4. 1-0 in favor of the Spuds here in the second half as far as shots on net are concerned. Still scoreless, obviously, as you can see on your screen. And the throw-in will come near side, and Ralstad will pick it up. Ralstad will drop it back to Puar, and Puar will touch up just outside of the 18, boot it back up in the middle of the field. One bounce, and then off the head of a Moorhead Spud there, and in the middle of the field for Fargo South was Shoe John Gale. And now the Spuds have it back. Nice ball. There he goes again. Once you get it across that 30, the other team gets the ball back. And now Fargo South looking like they might have an opportunity here. And a little pushing and shoving there, a little extracurricular activity to break up that offensive attack there for the Bruins. So I had to get the binoculars out, but I couldn't quite grab them. They weren't in the spot I usually had them there, so I couldn't quite see who was on that far side of the field. Working it near side there, it's Mason Allen, a junior midfielder. It's the first time I've called his name in this matchup for the Spuds. Diving there's Puar, and it just went off his fingertips. But it'll be a goal kick because it didn't go off his fingertips, but just missed him. So Puar will line it up for a goal kick right on the 6-yard line there with 33-13 and counting to go.
Number 10, and number 12, Schwanger.
Nobin Gurung, number 10, and Bashal Monger, number 2, check back into the lineup for the Bruins. Elvin Johnson will push it near side here for Pacific Sibomana. Now they advance the ball. Elvin Johnson was onside. Now he has an opportunity here. Centering pass, and it'll just go past the goal. A little bit too hard there. Over on the far side was, I believe that was Sibomana. Taking a peek through the binoculars. No, it was Shasit Tamang, who was on the other end of that centering pass there from Sibomana. Or Elvin Johnson, excuse me. That will not go into the books as a shot on net, as it did not really go towards the net. It may have had something to do. No, it did not have something to do with the wind. The wind's going the other direction now. So the wind in favor of the Fargo South Bruins in this half, and they were going against the wind in the first half. Once again, Bruins in their yellow jerseys moving from left to right as you see it on your screen, and the Spuds in the white jerseys moving from right to left as you see it on your screen here with just over 31.5 minutes to go in the second half, and it's a scoreless 0-0 game between the Bruins and the Spuds. It may be scoreless, but it's been a good one nonetheless. Falling down right outside of the 18, they're going to allow that free kick there for the Spuds. Setting up to take the free kick is Mason Allen for Moorhead. So this is from about 21 yards away from the goal. We'll see where Mason Allen places this one. Just under 31 minutes to go. He'll line up, center it, put it right on goal and over the top. So over the crossbar on the free kick there from about 21 yards away for Mason Allen, and it'll remain 0-0. Spuds having more opportunities here in the second half than they had in the first half as far as putting some shots on the net. And now Puar will boot it away. That'll go right onto the foot there of Austin Scott, the senior midfielder for the Bruins. Scott will advance it up near side, and running up after it there is Riley Martin. But it'll escape his feet and go out of bounds, and the ball will go back to the Spuds. Making the toss for the Spuds is Ebenezer Pade. And Pade will move it, get it in, and they'll go up on the far sideline here. Window frame was in my way on that one. And that's going to be a hold, and we're going to see stop the clock and probably another yellow card here. And that is indeed the case. He grabbed the jersey. He should not have done that. That was Pacifique Sibomana with the yellow card at the 29:48 mark of the second half. That's the second yellow card handed out to the Bruins in this game. The first one came at the 4:10 mark of the first half.
Number 7, Jabril Ito, and number 9, Dagesh Al-Hidar. And in for the Bruins, number 8, Pradeep Rai.
All right, so we have a quick change on the roster here. Edmund Nirakunda has a knee injury, so he gave his number 8 jersey to Pradeep Rai, a sophomore defenseman who wears number 14 on junior varsity, who will be wearing 8 for the remainder of this game. So free kick set up here, about 63 yards away from the goal. And he'll put it up right towards the 18 and try and drop it in there for his teammate, and no whistle. A couple of the Fargo South fans off to my left wanted a call there, and if the whistle would have been blown, we would have seen a penalty kick. We've seen one penalty kick this year. It came in that West Fargo Grand Forks Central game. Oh no, check that. It came in the second game that we did, Fargo Davies and Shanley. So corner kick from the far side, comes in near post. It's punched away and then booted out by the defenseman. On the corner kick there was Bichelle Monger for the Bruins. Spuds will chest it down, pop it up, and try and advance it upfield there. Two of their own teammates collide, and the Bruins are able to pick it up as a result. Trying to work it up the near sideline there was Nobin Gurung, and he'll have it tapped out there by one of the Spuds. That is Austin Scott with the ball now, trying to get around a couple of defenders, and the Spuds will boot it right back out. But picking it up is Ralstad. Ralstad on the near sideline moves it up, and that's immediately punched in there by Riley Martin. Now Austin Scott picks it up once again, and then the Bruins take it away. I believe that is William Vargas who took it away there for the Spuds. And it was 27:07 and counting to go here in the second half of play. Still no score as the two teams battle for the ball right around midfield. And now the Bruins will advance it up, and immediately it's booted away there by the Spuds, and the Bruins get it right back, and then the Spuds boot it away again. Spuds will pick up possession of the soccer ball. Advance it up over the far sideline where it's taken away. And now they tried to take, that was close to being a foul there. It's lucky the whistle did not blow on that one there. He's got a little bit aggressive, and that one will bounce out of bounds all the way to that back fence there. 26.5 to go in the first half. Second half, excuse me. More soccer coming up for you Tuesday. We'll be right back here at Fargo South High School, but it will not be the Bruins. It'll be Fargo North taking on, I believe, Grand Forks Central. As Fargo North is getting a turf field up at their school, so they're playing their first couple of games down here at Fargo South. And then they will play their home games back up at Fargo North after that turf field gets finished up there. So we'll have that game for you. I believe that's coming up on Tuesday here on the Andy Sports Channel. And then another soccer matchup on Thursday as well on the Andy Sports Channel. And then back to football, Oak Grove and Shiloh Christian this coming Friday. That one will be played at Fargo Shanley. We had the Skyhawks game yesterday, their first ever 11-man football game. They would take care of the Harvey Wells County Hornets by a score of 34-6. Jaden Mitzel with 4 touchdown passes and a nice 45-yard run to set up his 4th touchdown pass, which would have been a 9-yard touchdown pass of the day.
And for the Spuds,
he had just shy of 100 yards rushing and just a little bit over 200 yards passing in that game yesterday against the Hornets. Hornets a really good football team, but they just could not get into the end zone. They got in once, and they had a couple of turnovers, on downs, a fumble, an interception, and even though those drives had quality plays on them, it resulted in a detrimental turnover, and that cost the Hornets some quality opportunities to close the gap on the scoreboard. Once again, Skyhawks defeat the Hornets yesterday 34-6, the final in 11-man Class A football. Fargo South fans will have your game coming up against Bismarck Legacy in a couple of weeks from now. I believe that's the first Friday in September. I don't remember the exact date. I want to say September 6th, but I have to double check her schedule. Schedule's available online at msportsnet.com. You can go under the games button and click on stream schedule. You can find out all of the games coming up on all of our stations, all right there on one page. Once again, I want to give a shout out to the PA announcer plus the Moorhead parent who helped us out with some of the Moorhead name pronunciations right before our pregame show. That's a shot that'll go up over the top of the crossbar, and it will remain 0-0. That's the first shot on net here for Fargo South in the second half. Those previous 7 all came in half number 1. So that'll set up the goal kick here for Caden Triggs, the senior goaltender for the Moorhead Spuds, and he'll line it up at the 6 and boot it up. They'll come to the near side there. Vargas was the intended recipient of that pass, and a little bit of a high kick here will allow a free kick for Fargo South. And that was an attempted shot there off the foot of Nobin Garung. And Garung still fighting for it. Now it comes back. Austin Scott will drop it back. And now it'll go back onto the foot of Riley Martin. Martin, I believe that's Elvin Johnson in there. And Elvin Johnson will feed it up near side. And it's going to be a breakaway for Garung. Garung can't get it in. And did he get it in off the header? He did. 1-0 Fargo South. I believe it was on the goal there. I believe it was Elvin Johnson. We'll get the official goal call momentarily here, but I believe it was Elvin Johnson on the header there to make it 1-0. Oops, we put that score on the wrong side there. So 1-0 Fargo South off the goal, which we believe was from Elvin Johnson. Well, I said in the first half here that I had a feeling this was going to come down to a 1-0 game, and well, still plenty of time for Moorhead to respond here, but that's exactly what has happened.
Scoring for the Bruins, number 7, Shasit Tamang, with assists from Nobin Garang and Elvin Johnson.
All right, so Elvin Johnson gets credit for the assist. It was Shasit Tamang who got the header goal on the near far post there. .25 and counting to go here, second half of play.
Number 6, Yusuf Mohammed, and number 13, Caden Carter. And in for the Bruins, number 19, Charlie Larson.
So Fargo South leads. That goal came at the, I forgot to write down the time, it was 22:14, I believe it was. Now Elvin Johnson has it over on the far side. You can tell by the bright green shoes that he's wearing. That's the only reason I know that's Elvin Johnson on the far side. Otherwise, I cannot see anything as far as the jersey number. But Elvin Johnson has the ball right now, and he'll center it. And it will get through the legs of his teammates, and they'll drop it back to Triggs here, and Triggs will boot it back the other direction. Loose ball at about midfield, initially touched up by the Spuds, and now still battle for a ball here. Neither team with clear possession at the moment. Ball is dangerously close to going out of bounds, and now the Spuds will try and work it up the far side, and the ball will eventually, in fact, go out of bounds as we just go under the 20-minute mark of the ball game here. So it'll be another goal kick here
in for the Spuds, number 10, Yusuf Al-Shamani. And in for the Bruins, number 14, Sujan Gali.
All right, so Yusuf Al-Shamani, a junior forward for the Spuds, checking in. And then you got Sujan Gali, a junior midfielder for the Bruins, checking into the lineup. With 19:15 to go here in the second half and a 1-0 lead for the Fargo South Bruins. Looking to add to that, another shot on goal, and that one off one hop will be scooped up by Caden Triggs. So 10 shots on net, and they've put one of them in. Need to get that updated here. There we go. .18:47 and counting as the Bruins will work it up the far sideline before the whistle, and the fallen down Bruin was, I can't quite see. Cannot get the angle on the jersey number there. So the defenseman will move up here for the Fargo South Bruins.
Number 15, Hassan.
Have to chase down the ball here. It results in the momentary stop in the clock here. We'll reset our clock to 18:43. All right, so our clock on screen is about a second off. Advancing it up there for the Spuds is Ebenezer Paday.
In for the Spuds, number 14, Mason Allen.
Mason Allen also checking in for the Spuds. You may have heard that in the background. 17:51 and counting. 1-0 lead here for the Fargo South Bruins off a goal by Shasit Tamang. 22:14 remaining, about 5 minutes to go here in the matchup. It was a header goal that snuck in the far post. That one will be picked up by Triggs and rolled out to his teammate as the Spuds continue to advance it upfield here. They need to put something together to try and tie this thing up. It is a non-conference matchup, so it's not probably the most important matchup of the year for either of these teams, but the Fargo South Bruins could certainly use a win, and I'm sure the Moorhead Spuds would like to put a win in their category as well. I want to go off the back of the head there of Taylor Labungo, junior defenseman, out of bounds for a Spud throw-in, and making the toss here for the Spuds is Saif Alawi. And I don't know, when I was in high school, you had to bring that throw-in over from behind your head, and he didn't do that, but apparently they allowed that throw-in, so. 16:43 and counting to go.
In for the Bruins, number 17, Ethan Jablin.
Ethan Jablin is a junior forward for the Bruins. Checking into the lineup with 16, just under 16 and a half to go, as that one will go out of bounds, and Puar will pick up a secondary backup ball and line it up at the 6 here for a free kick, and it'll be his teammate. And that will be booted up there, just over midfield. Nice boot there. And that will roll all the way here into the hands of Caden Triggs. So another almost opportunity there for the Spuds, and once again Fargo South takes it away. So minus the goal, this is a mere duplicate of half number one as far as the defensive battle between these two teams. And like I said in the first half, we had a feeling this one would come down to a 1-0 win. We just didn't know who would get that one goal, and well, Fargo South got the goal, and it's in their favor at the moment. 15 minutes to go, and now a whistle will stop play and set up a free kick here for the Spuds about 54 yards away from the net. I believe that's Mason Allen on the kick there. Kick will come inside. The Bruins will get it back out. Just under 15 to go now here in the second half. And another free kick for the Spuds. This one coming from midfield, 60 yards away. They'll immediately put the ball back into play here, and a loose ball, and still a loose ball. And now it looks like the Bruins will pick up possession of it finally. Far sideline, out of bounds. Last touch by the Spuds will be a Bruin throw-in. Trying to work it inside was Monger, and then I'll come back out and be, I believe that's still a Bruin throw-in. I didn't quite see who touched it last as I was peering through the binoculars there to try and get a couple of jersey numbers. And if Moorhead's not careful here, Fargo South could get another opportunity to put a shot in. And nice job there by the Spuds, at least momentarily, and now the Bruins will get it right back, and falling down is Vargas for the Spuds, and that ball will eventually go out of bounds. They're going to say it's a Spud throw-in. Vargas will work the ball inside to Mason Allen. Allen will drop it back. Now they'll work the ball up the near sideline, but it'll go out of bounds, and that'll be chased down there by Ralstad. Ralstad will toss it in there to Taylor Labungo, and it'll be taken away by Vargas. Vargas with a centering pass there, but the Bruins are there to punch it away. Taking it out of the zone. Now they'll send the through ball up, and that'll be a little bit too speedy, and Caden Triggs will pick it up. And the Spuds will get the ball back, at least for the moment. Now battle for the ball right around midfield, and looks like the Bruins will pick up the possession of that ball, and well, he should have continued. And now as a result, they lost it, and now Vargas has it. Vargas centering pass, couple touches later, goes back onto the foot there of Saif Awali, excuse me. And that shot on, the intended shot on net went off either the shoulder or the back of Ralstad. And the Bruins will pick it up, and now we have another whistle here. Clock continues to roll, 11:45, 11:44 and counting. Setting it up for the kick, there's Taylor Labungo, and Labungo will boot it upfield. And that'll be immediately touched up there by the Spuds. Now battle for the ball about 30 yards away from the goal. The Bruins will pick it up. Nice ball movement there by the Bruins. Naresh Manga, or check that, Riley Martin. So 11 minutes to go now here in the second half.
In for the Spuds, number 11, Saif Alawi. And in for the Bruins, number 1, Drew Shambo, number 9, Elvin Johnson, and number 3, Pacific Sibomana.
Sibomana checking back into the lineup. He had the assist on the Fargo South goal, which was credited to Shasit Tamang. So he's back into the lineup now. You look for the green shoes. That's Sibomana. The bright green shoes. I don't know if you can see that on the screen or not, but I know I can see it from my vantage point. Yusuf Mohammed for the Spuds has a bright pair of sky blue shoes. He's right around the 20 right now as the ball just went past him. That'll be booted out of bounds, and that will be a corner kick for the Bruins from the near corner. As the wind is blowing in that direction, the ball may have gotten into the jet stream and took the ball over the back line instead of the sideline. And that results in a corner kick here for Fargo South, and lining up to take that corner kick is Austin Scott. Once again, there's nothing we can do about that little post there in the side camera. Scott will fire it in, and it'll go out of bounds, and that will be a throw-in for, I believe, Fargo South. Couldn't quite see who touched it last, and it will indeed be a Bruin throw-in. Bashal Monger will make the toss, and he'll pounce it in there. I can't quite see who's behind that Moorhead defender. Now Austin Scott for the Bruins, closest to the ball, and now here's a possible opportunity for the Moorhead Spuds. Trying to work it up there was Awes Ahmed. Check that, I'm sorry, that was Jibril Guido. Guido works it inside there for Sawif Al-Ali, and now the Bruins will boot it out. 8:40 to go here, second half of play. Spuds will touch up on it and try and create another opportunity to advance the ball downfield, but it's taken away possibly by Elvin Johnson, and it is. I see the green shoes. Elvin Johnson making a move through a few defenders there, loses the ball, and it'll come back out. And now the closest Spud to it there was Sawif Alawi. 8:15 to go. That ball go out of bounds for a Bruin throw-in. Oh, check that, Bruin free kick. Check that, not Scott, it's Ralstad with the ball right now. He'll move it up onto the foot of Alvin Johnson. Johnson looking near sideline there for Pacifique Sibomana, who had the assist on the goal. And Sibomana tries to break through to a couple defenders, and he gets tripped up. Ball gets loose just outside the 18 there. And Sibomana will pick it up. Looks like he's going to line it up for a shot, and that'll go right into the hands of Caden Triggs. So the ball comes back up to midfield there. Once again, Ralstad fighting for it. And the Bruins will pick up possession, move the ball up the far side with 7:27 and counting to go. Collision there at about 30 yards away from the goal, and now a loose ball, and the Bruins pick it back up. Far side looking to center it, and they will get it centered, but right there is the Spuds to boot it away. They'll get it up onto the foot there of William Vargas. Vargas trying a centering pass. And now a loose ball is taken away by Fargo South. I think the Spuds may have wanted a whistle there, but they did not get one. 7 minutes to go here in the second half. Spuds backs against the wall now. A little bit of a hill to climb here to try and get the goal in the next 7 minutes. It's not a huge hill to climb, but it will be a much huger hill in about 3 minutes from now. If they don't score in the next 3 minutes, that could seal the deal here for Fargo South. 6.5 to go now. And now we'll have a whistle, and Sibomana is not in agreement with that call. And Moorhead will try and advance the ball up, but Ralstad's there and boots it towards the sideline out of bounds for a Spuds throw-in. 6:20 and counting to go.
In for the Spuds, number 8, Max Hodney.
All right, so making the toss here is Ebenezer Pere. Mason Allen will center it. Over to the far side. I believe that's Max Hodney over on the far side, if I caught the jersey number right. Went over the head. And here's a possible opportunity if they can square up and turn around and get a shot on goal. And no, the Bruins are playing excellent defense once again. Keep that one out. It was a near opportunity there for the Spuds. So they'll get another credit for another shot on net. That shot will get ricocheted off the back of Austin Scott and won't go too far. And that'll be a handball. And they'll stop the clock. I believe a yellow card is going to come out here for the intentional handball, and that is indeed the case. 5:19 to go, and another yellow card. It's the third yellow card of the game for the Fargo South Bruins.
In for the Bruins, number 13, Riley Martin.
So Riley Martin will come in as the carded player will have to go out.
And number 24, Yahya Mohammed.
And we're away. And that was another shot on net there that was saved by Krishana Pawar. Pawar will boot it away right down the middle of the field where it's first touched up by the Spuds there on a header. Now the ball will come back all the way onto the foot there, Taylor Labungo. This is Vargas. Vargas with a centering pass there, and it got booted away, deflected onto the foot of Alvin Johnson. Johnson will boot it upfield. And that right there, that's how that goal was scored in the state championship game last year. The goalie was out, and it bounced on the ground over his head, and he wasn't able to catch up to it. Dangerous play there for the goalie to come out that far. That was Caden Triggs who came out that far. He was able to keep that ball in front of him that time around. That ball will go out of bounds for Bruins throw-in. Making the toss here will be Riley Martin. He'll give it up, actually, to Pacifique Sibomana. And Sibomana will toss it into Riley Martin. Martin will try and center it. Didn't quite get the touch he wanted on that ball, and now it'll come loose and back out of bounds for another Bruins throw-in. Oh, no, this will be a Spuds throw-in, excuse me. Vargas will watch it go out. And making the toss is Sibomana. Sibomana will get it into Alvin Johnson. Johnson struggling through two defenders there, keeping control of the ball. So nice ball movement, a little spin move there from Sibomana. Now coming in on it is Ralstad. Tried to send the through ball there. Elvin Johnson got in the way, and then running into Elvin Johnson. I believe that was number 11. 11 or 14. We're going to go with Saif Alawi. So it'll be a free kick here. As long as the wind doesn't blow the ball away. It will be Labongo with the kick. And Labongo will get it up near sideline. 1 Bruin, 3 Spuds. And do we have a red card coming out here for touching the goalie? No, it's just a yellow card. Oh, yep, it will be a red. A yellow and a red card. It'll stop the clock with 2:37 to go, and contact with the goalie not allowed unless it's incidental. But that was not the case there, and we have a red, 4 yellow cards and a red card now. So he'll miss the rest of this game. I believe he has to miss the next game too, due to that red card. All right, so coming in for the Moorhead Spuds is Sante Ramos, or Ramus. Apologize if I got that wrong. He's a junior midfielder for the Spuds. 2:34 to go, and we'll start the clock now. Tabungo will clear it, and I think he tried to get it out of bounds, and that just barely went out of bounds. That one should have been in the stands, if not over the press box, but the wind kept it almost in the field of play. You might be able to hear the wind in our background noise there. Oh! And he was able to pick it up. Puar tried to grab it out of the air, dropped it, had 2 Spuds running up on him there, and Puar getting a lucky break there. So Liam Weiler is also in the lineup here for the Spuds. He's wearing jersey number 4. He also has that orange armband on his left arm. So Spud throw in here. They have 90 seconds to try and sneak one into the goal. They have 90 seconds to try and sneak 2 into the goal to win it. Once again, if the game is tied at when the clock hits 0, it'll end in a tie. Triggs will toss this one out near side, and it's intercepted immediately by Riley Martin. Mason Allen got a touch on that one too. They'll work it back outside here for Ebenezer Pade, excuse me. And now Pade has it once again. Pade will work it up, and Alvin Johnson will make a touch on the ball. And Spuds will regain possession of it. This is Vargas, excuse me. And now that ball will come out of bounds. Last touch by the Bruins, and it'll be a Spud throw in with 34 seconds to go. So our clock's off by a couple seconds there, and we apologize for that. 25 seconds to go, so it's off by 5 seconds. A lot better than it was a year ago when it was off by 30 a minute, 2.5 minutes. I mean, this one works much, much better. So
10, 9, 8.
Last
7,
chance here for the Spuds.
6, 5,
one more throw in,
4,
and ooh,
3,
that will probably stop
2,
the clock here.
1.
And they'll let it run out. So that'll be your final score. The Fargo South Bruins pick up another win as they defeat the Moorhead Spuds by the score of 1-0. Shots on net unofficially at 11-7 in favor of the Bruins. We'll take a timeout, come back with a post-game show here in a moment or two on the ND Sports Channel. Be right back.
Diamond Academy and Magnitude Sports Media Network are providing a huge opportunity for high school athletes. Player profile videos shine the spotlight on a skill set required for a position in a particular sport. Whether you play softball, track and field, or any other sport, if you're a sophomore or junior, it's time to schedule your video. Most tapings take less than an hour and can save you thousands when a recruiter puts your name in the starting lineup for a college scholarship. For more information, click on Player Profiles at msportsnet.com or call us at 701-373-1843.
Download Game Time today.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level of my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
North Dakota Softball All-Stars podcast with Tim Howe keeps you up to date year-round on the sport of softball in the state of North Dakota. Coach and player interviews, who's moving on to play college softball, and that, well, guess what? That simply scratches the surface of this Grand Slam softball podcast. A new episode every week during the softball season and every month during the off-season. Listen anytime on demand on the ND Sports Channel, a Magnitude Sports Media Network station. All right, welcome back to the post-game show here. Mike Mason with you on the ND Sports Channel. And, well, the final score, Fargo South knocks off the Moorhead Spuds 1-0 off a goal by Shasit Tamang, as I look up to make sure that I can pronounce that correctly. He scored it with 22:14 remaining in the first half of play. We had 4 yellow cards and 1 red card handed out to the Bruins. Nothing to the Moorhead Spuds, and shots on net in favor of the Bruins. I believe the number was 11-7. 11-7 is what I had it as. So that'll wrap things up here. You can go to our website, and if you go to the games button, click on on-demand streams, you can, 1 second here. All right, there we go. I had to answer a question for somebody. If you go to our games button, click on on-demand streams, you can. This game will appear at the top here in about 20 to 30 minutes after the conclusion of our broadcast here. And then you can watch the game 24/7. And then under that games button as well, you can check out our upcoming stream schedule. And that'll look like this. Our next game will be the Fargo North Spartans taking on the Grand Forks Central Knights. And that'll be right here at Fargo South High School, where we're at right now, as Fargo North's getting a new turf field. So they're playing their first handful of home games down here at Fargo South High School. And then we'll see the Cheyenne Mustangs for the first time this year on the soccer field, as they'll take on Fargo Davies down at Fargo Davies High School. And then back to football on Friday, Oak Grove hosting Shiloh Christian at Fargo Shanley. And then back to soccer, Fargo Davies, Fargo North on September 3rd. And then circle this one. You're not going to want to miss it. West Fargo, Fargo Davies on September 5th. That's a couple of Thursdays from now. And then that next football game after that, we'll be right back here at the field we're at now for the Fargo South Bruins taking on the Bismarck Legacy Sabres. And that should be a fun game to call as well. Your final score, once again, Fargo South 1 and the Moorhead Spuds 0. Thanks so much for watching. The preceding has been a presentation of the ND Sports Channel on the Magnitude Sports Media Network. Have a great afternoon and enjoy the rest of your weekend.